And so the national costume competition of the Miss Universe Philippines pageant this year finally happened last night, and I really must say I really had a great time watching it, as it was truly a feast in one's eyes as all of us gasped in air at the level of artistry and craftsmanship our candidates showcased this year. As in, guys, nakita nyo naman, all of them came up with these stunning costumes with the theme of harvest, celebrating our country's agriculture and highlighting the skills and hard work of our farmers at the same time. Hence, we saw a lot of costumes in green and gold combination, which truly lit up the stage. Production-wise, I am so happy with the outcome of or turnout, because the girls were able to maximize the small stage of the university venue. So there was a generous amount of airtime devoted in each contestant as she paraded her costume to the audience. Now, they truly maximized everything given their limited resources. So it did not stop me from thoroughly enjoying it. And wag nyo na akong pisahan, wag nyo na lang ihirit na madilim. Basta ako masaya ako for whatever output that they came out with. And I just feel so proud of them, of all our ladies and their respective designers who came up with these costumes, as they are all international stage worthy already, which makes sense because all our designers are being tapped by candidates even from other countries as well. So nakaka-amaze at nakaka-proud lang talaga, kasi the research, the creativity, and symbolism in depicting the rich agriculture which props up the economy of our country is just so awe-inspiring. And for sure, the judges had a hard time deliberating the winner's circle last night, and since there have been winners already announced for this aspect of the competition, I will still share you guys my favorites without necessarily ranking them according to my preference or in ascending order. So, I've got 16, so here we go. At number 1 is Janary Sarsosa from Agusan del Norte. Wow, trust Janary talaga to always open the show with a bang with that bae cacao national costume. She was really stunning in it with that Santo Niño-like hair curls and shoulders, carrying candles which make it so majestic and grand to look at. But what I love more about her showcase here is that she was able to execute her showmanship well despite those huge shoulders. Now, she was still able to walk gracefully in it. The red and orange color combination of her costume truly depicted the fieriness of her performance. The same color combination that she also had during her runway challenge. Ganun na rin kayang preview ng evening gown niya sa prelims. Abangan! And next on my list is Alexandra Bautista Bautier's national costume. It's my first time to feature Alexandra here on my commentary video, and so when she finally came out, I like what I saw as she showcased a modern interpretation costume of our famous Banawe rice terraces. It felt like she was wearing a haute couture gown made by a famous designer. Or sige na nga sabihin ko, parang Michael Cinco yung gown niya with that long robe screaming royalty. However, there were 2 things that I did not like which prevented me from enjoying it or her performance. Her gown wasn't cinched to her waist to complement her figure, and the salakot partly hid her face while modeling it on stage. But I'm glad that she removed it towards the end of her presentation for us to appreciate the beauty of her face. And next on my list here is Joey May and Leo's national costume. I am truly stunned by Jo May's national costume. When she came out first, I kinda hinted that she may be up to something as she entered the stage, all being covered up. But when she finally revealed or opened her arms to reveal her showcase, I was truly impressed. Seryoso guys, I felt goosebumps while watching it, as the execution of her 3-piece salad national costume was outstanding. Na it truly captured her province's moniker as the salad capital of our country. The huge salad backdrop was so stunning to look at, with the intricate design of her bodysuit and even the painted handpiece to make it a more majestic showcase. But what I love more about her performance here is how proud Jo May felt while parading her costume. Her smile was very heartwarming to look at, so you can't help but feel so happy for her genuinely. Definitely, in my opinion, one of the best national costumes, if not the best national costume this year. And next costume that I truly like was from Krishna Gravides from Baguio City. The moment she came out, guys, I can't help but marvel at how shapely Krishna's legs were because of that high slit design of that strawberry national costume, which her province is known for. However, as the camera started panning on her face, her sexiness suddenly took a backseat as we were so stunned by the beauty of her face. I think it's our first time to see a strawberry national costume, so it was very refreshing to our eyes while being aided by Krishna's great execution on stage. Na it was really a sweet and sexy performance with her eating pa a piece of strawberry, making it a more fun spectacle to watch. The costume truly highlighted all her physical assets in the pageant, her face, legs, and fluidity on stage. Gustong gusto ko talaga yung national costume niya. And now we go to my next favorite, and I'm giving it to Karenolfalto from Batangas. Karen's Banig national costume here should also be up on everyone's list. I truly had a great time watching her in this Terna designed Banig costume. You can see it was very simple, but her impact generated by her strong catwalk was more than enough to be noticed in this round. The way she carried it made her all the more refined and sophisticated on stage. Nakita nyo? Her turn here really solidified our take on her as one of the candidates who has a great catwalk or who has great catwalk skills. Kasi kahit na she was wearing a huge banig skirt for her national costume, ang ganda pa rin niya maglakad. So, I suggest win or lose in MUP this May 13, this candidate has really a bright future in the modeling industry. Ang galing-galing niya talaga maglakad. She can elevate a national costume to a haute couture fashion experience. And now we go to my next candidate, and I'm giving it to Pauline Amelinks from Bohol. Who here doesn't love ube? So when Pauline finally came out on it, I suddenly craved for one. Totoo, guys. No, but seriously, aesthetic-wise, it may not be the most creative, but she still truly stood out because she was the only one wearing a purple national costume in a sea of green and gold numbers last night. Performance-wise, I am glad with what I saw because she looks so comfortable in it. The bodysuit totally showcased her sexy body curves with that cape allowing her to demonstrate her newly improved walk. I'm just happy for Pauline having so much fun and feeling comfortable on stage. I think that's what matters most. And now we go to Samantha Pandillo's national costume. I have to be honest, when she came out, I really blurted out an injective. Na napamura talaga ako kasi I was really stunned yet again by this showgirl type of national costume inspired by mythology sea goddess. Talagang wow, avant-garde feels, and as you see her up close, makikita mo talaga wow, and she was beautifully styled yet again. And although this aesthetic is something that we have seen from her in her previous pageant, I am still marveling at her designer's level of artistry. The lambat design on the back even kinda had lights, napansin nyo, so on which I feel enhanced Samantha Pandillo's performance here. And now we go to my next lady, and she is Cynthia Castro from Davao Oriental. Arbony feels. Yup, this is what I truly felt when Clyza truly came out on her national costume. I feel she really shone in this coconut-inspired national costume which reflected her province's coconut industry. I never thought that the green and gold color combination could work well for her skin tone on stage. She glistened, she glowed, she smiled radiantly, which I can't help but notice. And I think it's also our first time to see a coconut-inspired national costume, and the execution was really great. It really felt so authentic, especially the back details. Nakita nyo? Those coconut leaves at the back felt like those Victoria's Secret angel wings. Ang ganda talaga. Clyza here was already giving me Miss Universe vibes already. So, pwede talagang maging Miss Universe tong si Clyza. And now let's go to Isabella's Kimberly Acob. Am I the only one who is appreciating teacher Kimberly's performance here? Ang ganda din ng national costume niya as she shimmered in this gold Filipiniana number. At first glance, we may think this aesthetic is something that we have seen before, but the moment you look up close at the craftsmanship of her designer, the bodies and sleeves were designed as rice and corn baskets, which really made me say wow on my seat. The execution grabe, was very clean and spot on. And those two dolls, as she explained it, on the significance of it, all the more made it for a heartwarming tribute to her relatives. So the end result, she was really beaming the whole time she was walking down on stage, and I really felt that joy. Her story resonated in the costume. And now, let's go to Eastern Summer's Irish Ramos. Trust the hometown lady will deliver, and she actually did. The moment Irish came out in her national costume, you can't help but be stunned by the cultural dance that she was performing as a form of serenade to her province's farmers, with that billowing ruffled skirt depicting the 23 municipalities of her province. Ang ganda-ganda at ang linis-linis ng execution niya. And she was also beaming the whole time she was performing, so all the more I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very authentic and really threw me back to our Spanish era back in the day. So she really deserves her win last night. And now we go to Angelique Manto's national costume. Oh wow! When couture meets culture, as one follower of mine described it, that's how I really sum up my take on Angelique's national costume performance last night. She truly was a divine sensation in this white Sampaguita-inspired national costume with that palay-adorned backdrop, giving it a Met Gala feels! Now, she really carried her costume with so much grace and finesse that it felt like watching a preview of her evening gown presentation for next week. And if you check out the details up close of her national costume on her Instagram account, you will even be more stunned at the intricate details of her costume. Angelique, sa totoo lang, really glowed in this white Sampaguita inspired national costume as it showcased, or as she paid homage to her province and Sampaguita festival. She really killed it here. How I wish she was also declared as one of the winners last night. And next girl on my list here is Michelle D from Makati City. If there is one thing Michelle is so consistent in doing, it's her national costume presentation. And her presentation at last night's MUP National Costume Competition is truly one of her best performances to date. I am just marveling at every detail of this Gintong Ani inspired national costume. Everything was just a sight to behold, and so I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. However, what truly elevated this costume was Michelle D's fierce showmanship on stage. You could feel her fire and tenacity in executing her walk here. Her hand movements were so graceful, and there was also a point that she was even stomping her feet for us to feel the intensity of her performance, and you could feel that she was truly enjoying her time on stage. In other words, she wasn't hard or awkward to look at. So I hope Michelle continues to give this kind of fiery performance from now on, as everything has been lukewarm from her side since 3 weeks ago. Pero when it matters the most, lumalabas din ang gigil ni Michelle, and I hope I am observing her quite accurately right now. And now we go to Kimberly S Cartin's national costume. I mean, she also truly deserves her placement in last night's competition. That national costume inspired by her province and crops and produce were also a sight to behold as well. The bodice, the headdress, and the huge basket of fruits backdrop were intricately designed, which is truly giving us a sense of grandeur and creativity. It's so Filipino as it can get, really highlighting our farmers' bountiful harvest. And while she was wearing a huge headdress, it still did not overwhelm her whole outing here, as she was very calm and beautiful in presenting herself here. Now, it was really a beautiful showcase. So, well done, Kimberly. And next on my list here is Kylie Half's national costume. I am just so happy to finally feature her on my commentary video as well. Kylie also stood out in her Tamaraw-inspired national costume because it complemented her fiery personality as she executed all these hand and body movements that depicted the strength and bravery of the Tamaraws it just felt like she was just unleashing her Latina vibes here with that showgirl type of performance and huge headdress that we have been, or those huge headdresses that we have been seeing from these Latinas. And she acquitted herself very well here. But what I love more about her performance here is how she incorporated her chosen inspiration to her current law studies in FEU, as the connection was really well thought out and spot on. And nakita nyo naman, she was also a joy to watch as she was doing her performance. And you can truly feel that she was enjoying every moment of her time on stage. So I am hoping for the same thing when she finally performs during prelims next week. And of course, Emmanuel Vera from Cebu province has to be here in my list. Eman, for me, is really an artist, and it really reflected the moment she came out on stage. She was really imbibing her Reina ng Bambubukid national costume as an empowered woman despite the gender stereotypes coming her way. So all throughout her presentation, she was channeling strength, bravery, resilience with those hand and body movements, and even a kick to demonstrate her point. So she really narrated the story here, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The bodysuit even had a story as well, so everything from head to toe was well thought out too. And while there were so many elements in her costume competing for our attention, the actor in Iman truly shone as we were stunned by her showmanship here. I am really impressed talaga. She really kicked ass here, literally. And finally, we go to my last girl, and I'm giving it to Vanessa Chewing's national costume. Vanessa's national costume here should also be in everyone's list just because of how huge it was as she carried it on stage. I mean, she just brought an entire sari-sari store displaying the products of what her province has been known for. It's sweet mangoes. And grabe, I was really stunned as how she was able to pull it off on stage. I mean, how authentic can she ever be, diba? That sari-sari store is found in every corner of our barangay, and talagang makikita mo talaga siya everywhere. So it could never get how can it get any more Filipino than that? So talagang wow. However, I know a lot of you are not on board with this idea or her national costume, as she did not wear it and just included the sari-sari store as a prop. Well, you guys have a point. But the moment she got out of her sari-sari store costume, she paraded her all-yellow Filipiniana outfit towards the center of the stage to showcase her brand of Filipina beauty. And I know we have seen this kind of national costume from our neighboring countries in Miss Universe, but I just want to put her here just for the effort that she displayed and her designer's craftsmanship. So I wish, if there's only one thing I could nitpick, is I wish she brought a basket of mangoes, well, from her sari-sari store while she modeled her ensemble towards the center of the stage. So there you go, guys. I actually can enumerate more girls in my list, but the list is getting longer. Even the girls who I did not mention here, like Miss Apayao, Miss Zambales, and even Miss Occidental Mindoro, truly deserve to be recognized. So kudos to the artistry and craftsmanship of all our Filipino designers. Mabuhay kayong lahat.